BenFlyingRetro, and I'm embarking on a quest to purchase every classic GI Joe comic from the original 80s and 90s Marvel run. Warning. Hunting down individual issues from every corner of the globe in whatever order the universe decides to give me. Join me and my pal Steve every week as we discuss my latest find. Welcome to Chasing Joe. Chasing Joe. Hello and welcome to episode 21 of Chasing Joe, where every week the postman delivers me a comic-y based treat in the form of Marvel's original 1980s GI Joe, a real American hero. I am indeed BenFlyingRetro, but I wouldn't be so foolish as to go on this print-based adventure into the unknown by myself. Joining me from the southern hemisphere of this godforsaken mudball we call Earth, it's
Chubbs! Man.
Jeez, these TV-based intros are taking it out of me.
Buddy, I don't know how you do it, and it's not like you're reading off a script or anything.
Well, no, of course.
Do you practice at the mirror?
Of course not, but points to anyone that got the license to drive reference in that opening monologue. I'm not going to say any more. That's all I'm saying. It's a good film.
On my rotation, buddy. This is absolutely your avenue.
It should be on your rotation.
I think look. I like to say I can lay claim to being a Gen Xer, but really that's my brother and sister's generation.
I was going to say you're tail end.
Yeah, I'm actually guilty of being a millennial, but don't tell anyone. But yeah, look, License to Drive was something that played a lot when I was very, very young.
I am Gen X. I am divorces. I'm Rambo. I'm Gulf War. I'm G.I. Joe.
Oh, yes. That's one thing we can all agree on.
Yeah, dude, no one's more G.I. Joe than you. Now, you're in the Southern Hemisphere. We are a little peek behind the curtain. This is a morning show. This is a morning show. I've had some coffee. Have you had a coffee? Are you a coffee guy?
I am a coffee guy.
I bet Cape Town is kind of a coffee town. My memories of being there, you had some very hipstery cafes.
Oh, my Lord.
Did
you go to that one that's all steampunky?
Yeah. Oh, damn it. Is that really cliche? Well, obviously Emma made us go there.
It's definitely got a reputation. It's one of those, like, touristy spots. You just got to do it.
I probably stepped over someone to get in there and then paid £20 for a flat white. Oh, cliche. Yeah.
Well, look, it's a pretty establishment, and they do make a fine cup of joe. There are more unpretentious places to buy coffee in Cape Town, but yeah, they do.
My son Phoenix, he's getting super into boxing. He's watching a lot of Rocky, and he's also eating a lot of steak, a lot of meat. And when I think of meat, I think of Saffers, and I think of you guys. You got some good,
bro.
Yeah, what? I don't even know what you just said. But you got some fine meats.
A barbecue in these parts is called a braai, B-R-A-A-I. It's Afrikaans.
Yeah.
And it's just adopted by all speakers, no matter what your primary language is.
Cookout.
You call it a braai. Anytime there's a public holiday, anytime it's Sunday or the weekend or anything, the neighborhood is just filled with the smell of meat sizzling away on a grid.
Would you be someone that is confident enough to host something like that and do the cooking? Like, has that been passed down in a kind of fatherly way?
I'm the last born, so I've never really had to step up to the plate in terms of the family gatherings. But let me tell you, man, ain't nobody cooking my meat in Australia. I'm the guy manning the fire, so...
Well, look, those lads are they're pretty into their barbecue too, so...
Well, there's a difference, though. I mean... In South Africa, you're less inclined to use a gas barbecue.
Yeah.
If you've got the time, actually use wood.
Right.
Break that down into coals. It just smells better, tastes better. It's a more sense of occasion. But I mean, look, granted, not everyone can live like that. Sometimes it's like, cook the meat right now, so switch on the gas. But
great,
if you've got the time,
if you can starve now,
if you can start the fires nice and early. And get those coals ready. That's
look. I was up nice and early, and look what I put on my feet. Check these out.
Ooh, here we go.
Can you see them?
A little bit higher. Come on, Ben. Where's that flexibility?
Jeez!
Where's that? Limber up, old man. Oh, God. Dude, they are beautiful. Those are at Walker drivers.
Yeah, Adidas. And the cool thing is, like, these are, you can decide whether to have these on or not, and underneath you've just got the Adidas
Why
symbol.
would you not want them on?
Exactly.
Those are the helmets of the AT-AT driver.
I said this morning to my 4-year-old, I was like, Scout, I need my tongue AT-AT drivers on today. I'm feeling it.
Oh, do you have a variety of different helmets?
No, but sometimes I choose not to wear them. Sometimes I do. It's optional, you know?
Right. Well, you don't want to run the risk of losing them in the streets.
But as I was walking out of the front door, the postman was coming, and he dropped this into my hands. Woohoo! Because this is Chasing Joe, and I am indeed chasing it. I'm chasing it here, I'm chasing it there, everywhere, every week. He delivers me something. Let's open it up. Wild packaging, can I just say, on this week. So last week we did a special missions, didn't we? I think we're probably going to be back onto ARA this week.
And this is a purchase, so I have to do the price guessing game. Oh, my word.
Look at... I don't know what... Wait a minute. Look at the packaging. Fiji water. What does that... Artisan water. Does that tell us anything? Wow. Oh, it's a slipcase. It's a slip... What? This just gets crazy. Okay.
Right goal of comic book protection.
Someone was bulk buying Fiji water.
Uh-huh. He's got a lot of... Ooh.
Oh, my days. It's issue 70. Came out December the 13th, 1987. Has an April 88 cover date on it.
Wild
Wow.
Bill getting a 45 put to his noggin as he's piloting something. It looks like they're going into the deck, man. They're crashing out.
Yeah, you can almost hear the the warning sounds.
Screaming at you.
Wild Bill sweating like a snowman locked in a sauna there. Mm-hmm. And I like the red on red. We got lovely bounce there.
And the gun in the foreground.
Newsstand. Roll up. Get your Joe on the way to the office. American person.
Well, good. The digital copy that I will be sharing was also a newsstand, so we're not losing.
You do not have this. You do not have this issue.
But I do have.
How
the
interesting.
paperbacks.
You don't have issue 70.
It appeared in volume 7, reprinted by IDW. So
yeah, what did Marvel get up to?
5.
That's
They
so
dropped off at 5.
strange. Why would they do that? I think I had the first 5 Marvel, and then I switched.
I know. Priorities. I guess they were slow to get through it. Whereas at IDW, they ran with it. Maybe they didn't know how long they would have the license for.
Skybound have only done compendiums. They're not doing trades. They're not going to release the trades.
No. Well, who's to say? They are definitely milking the GI Joe IP for all it's worth. So maybe they will break it down into individual volumes.
Who do we think is holding the handgun to Wild Bill?
Difficult to say.
Difficult to say at this point.
On this cover.
No clues there, is there?
Well, it's a gloved hand. So that rules out Zorana. She has ungloved hands.
Okay.
Or maybe it's just like the artist, Ron Wagner, has chosen a gloved hand to increase the mystery, increase the anonymity.
Well, I'm getting
is this a
too far
Joe
ahead of
pulling a
myself
gun on Wild Bill? What?
Wow. Let's so I got this from Whatnot, the Whatnot app on a GI Joe show. Comics and Stuff was the seller. Have a guess. What do you think I bid on this?
I'm gonna say it looks nice condition, but maybe not like.
Give me pounds as well. Give me pounds.
Yeah, pounds. I'm gonna go £3.
Dude, it's a special day because he's nailed it with £3. Let's just get that into the calculator.
Oh, I love it when you coordinate your Hello Kitty calculator with your Hello Kitty headband. It's quite priceless. That's a screen grab right there.
At episode 21, the running total is £94.58, $118, including 5 donations. I'm coming up to a landmark, £100.
Yeah, breach the £100 mark.
Geez, £100 and only 21 books. Yeesh.
I don't know why you do this to yourself.
Things are going to get pricey.
Ben, may I just say that your smell test is the most effective way of doing this. Laying the spine across the bridge of your nose, you get to drink it all in, and I've been doing that with my vintage books now, and it is... May I just suggest to anyone listening to this, if you are a vintage comic book collector and reader and appreciator, do it. Just lay that sucker flat over your face.
I'll lay that. They couldn't afford splash pages, so they just double add. I mean, what can I say? I can only say one thing, and that's Fiji water. Absolutely dripping in it. It's obviously come in.
What does Fiji water smell like?
Well, I can tell you, it's artisan water. It's
a colorless, tasteless liquid.
Yeah. No, well, let's just say it smells of the boxes of Fiji water then.
Yeah, I figured.
I tell you what, £3 for a book that came out in the late 80s that smells like Fiji water. Jeez. I mean, I just had a coffee that was more than that. That's ridiculous.
Mm-hmm.
Right, let's open this sucker up.
Yeah.
Fair trade.
The Joes are heading through Sierra Gordo. It's Hawk. It's Psych Out, Roadblock, and the boys. They're being led by the counter-revolutionaries. They've got a American ambassador, Winthrop, with them, and a Marine. They're trying to escape General Villavaca's forces and get out of the country. They're holed up inside their deceased guide's house, surrounded on all sides by Villavaca's forces. Destro's been called in to assist, but he winds up turning the other cheek and helping the Joes by wiping out the opposing forces. Nice.
That was a good synopsis. Good pronunciation.
Well, there's one other thing. In another part of the country, C-130 loaded up with Crazy Legs, Wild Bill, and Maverick, and also carrying some refugees, and the Dreadnoks is stricken and going down.
Oh, it's
they
going
managed
down.
to get out just in time, but now they need to move through the jungle with just emergency supplies, weapons, and try and evade capture and enemy forces. So things are shaping up to be pretty exciting in Sierra Gordo, but that's where we leave it initially.
I mean, look, we just open up and we are straight into this story. Plane going down. It's coming in hot. And the cover immediately makes sense, and it turns out that it was Thrasher.
Ooh.
We got Dreadnoks, and they are engaged in weighty philosophical debate. Little nod there. Who have we got? Is that Maverick?
Looking good. He's got like a flight cap on. Not something the figure had.
Battle Force 2000.
Like straight off the bat, my first note on this issue is like, this is a little bit of time to shine for two ill-fated Joes. Maverick and Crazy Legs get features in this issue. Maverick's in the cockpit. Crazy Legs is doing what, I suppose an airborne infantryman would do on their kind of, when they're not carrying a rifle, they're in the back of an aircraft being a crewman. So he's trying to secure all these refugees.
Oh, palm trees going down there. Maverick, by the way, he has the reflexes of a gymnast. Little note from his file card. And he's got exceptional eyesight.
He's one handsome mofo. Just say, like, the head sculpts on Battle Force 2000 figures are of a similar caliber. Like, they're all very characteristic. I don't know. There's a lot of character put into these head sculpts. And, like, with Maverick, he's got these defined cheekbones. He's got, like, a classic Hollywood leading man clock.
Very much so. He could have a photo shoot at Vision Express. He's got Flash Gordon big kind of Ming the Merciless shoulder things going on as well. He's a cool fig. He's a bulky fig.
He's one of the good ones. And like as a futuristic jet pilot, like experimental aircraft pilot, you can get away with this 1950s sci-fi pulp Flash Gordon outfit.
Yeah.
Perhaps a little bit better than some of the other guys.
And have you got Crazy Legs represented here as well?
You bet I do.
Always loved that quilted kind of vibe he had going on, that texture.
Yeah.
Presumably for warmth. I've been rewatching, I did Band of Brothers, then I did The Pacific, and now I'm finishing with Masters of the Air. Ooh. And something that I've only really just reflected on now is a major issue for those boys up in the skies. It was freezing, like so cold. So they had to really dress up warm. And I feel like Crazy Legs with that quilted kind of look, he's doing that for warmth. I don't have him anymore. I had him.
Oh, you did?
I've looked to rebuy him. I like his gun. He's got has it got a detachable stock?
Which is the bane of collectors these days.
For sure.
It detaches very easily. And it's the kind of part that just gets swallowed up, disappears into a vehicle, into a carpet.
I tell you what, man, he would have looked good in last week's issue. He always looked good in the Tomahawk. Cool blaster, though.
Absolutely a shoo-in for a Tomahawk crewman. As an helicopter assault infantry, he's Airborne's kind of replacement, or...
Well, he's an airborne ranger living a life of danger, for sure.
Yeah, man. Bit of confusion on the file card, though. Like, was that an attempt at humor that didn't land? The fact that he would have been the world's premier organist if his fingers weren't too short. It feels like...
I saw that.
It's random.
Strange. But look, if you want random, then get yourself to the file cards, because they can get very random. Now, I said we've got some Dreadnoks. What's the full roll call? I think we've got Monkey Wrench, haven't we? You can call me Monkey Wrench. Me hobbies are heavy metal, unprovoked mayhem, and explosions. Loud explosions.
Wow.
A rice Penta arise.
I watched it the other day, and there's no ways I could have been verbatim as long as you did.
Dreadnought auditions, a great scene where we get this dude and we get Thrasher with the Thunder Machine. And he drives off into the jungle shouting out Cobra.
He's keen, man. Real go hard.
He's very keen. And
the thing already had Cobra symbols on it.
That's what I mean. It's strapped down here. I mean, strapped down, the Thunder Machine in the back of this plane, but that doesn't last long. And actually, Thrasher, he's not buckled up, and he must lose all of his front teeth, because Wild Bill and Maverick buckled up, and Thrasher just eats the dash. Oh my goodness.
Jeez.
Yeah, face plants, and Crazy Legs is in the back. He's trying to rescue kids, and the plane does go down, and we don't really catch up. And then the issue pivots, changes, and should we just skip to the end so we can close out these guys, because it doesn't really come back to these until the last page, really. Literally,
there's not a great deal more we can say after the crash. Like, they recover everyone. Seems everyone's banged up, but no one's deaded.
No,
and they have to tear off into the jungle. While Bill manages to hand yank out the the compass from the instrument panel.
No GI Joe watch, no digital watch with compass included. Nope. So we kind of it sets you up, and you think you're going to be spending quite a lot of time with these guys, and actually we spend more time with Hawk and Roadblock trekking through the jungle, and Roadblock is in sort of Miami Vice white fatigues.
Yes, that's how they've chosen to illustrate his version 2 outfit. Just kind of break it down to being very, very white.
Yeah, a jungle trek. You can almost hear the mosquitoes, that snake in the foreground. Quite enjoy these little bits. But look, I was sort of trying to think of a kid reading this. There's weighty dialogue. There's governments. There's banana monopolies.
Revolutionaries.
Yeah, there's dealing arms. It's a lot. And we get a lot of Hawk in this issue as well.
Yeah, man, he must be sweating with that bomber jacket in the jungle.
Yeah.
They speak of times when they've been to Sierra Gordo in the past, and Ambassador Winthrop is none too pleased about that. He's like, what? You've been to this country before behind my back without letting me know? I'm the ambassador here. And Hawk's like, yeah, you didn't have a need to know. But Hawk personally has never been to Sierra Gordo, I don't think.
Like previous to this issue? Okay.
Oh, maybe he has. Look, we don't actually know. This is not like we're doing these sequentially. But if I think back to the first times Joe's went to Sierra Gordo.
Yeah.
Oh, wait, he was flying the C-130. I take it back. He definitely was deployed on that mission. Do you
He's
remember
taking
the
it
one
back.
I'm thinking of? Yeah.
No, what are you talking about a few issues ago or?
No, way back in the
way
teens of
back
the run.
when. Oh, wow.
Issue 12 and 13. Anyway, Hawk flew the C-130.
I tell you what, in this issue, he's not scared to get his sidearm out and absolutely ventilate someone at close quarters because they turn up at this house and Hawk just lets this guy have it, man. Close quarters. This is quite a violent issue, actually. They just chuck a load of grenades in there and just mincemeat everyone inside.
Yeah, once the smoke clears, it's absolute carnage in that house. It is a murder house. All of Villavaca's troops that have been lying in ambush are annihilated.
Well, they attack the house, and then immediately afterwards, they're defending the house. And it's vice versa. And they take up positions in that house and form some kind of death squad because the kill count when the Joes let rip on the invading dudes, oh my days, it's a turkey shoot. Look at Psych Out. Oh, I love that panel, have to say. You can tell, Psych Out, he's not just full auto there. I feel like he is picking his shots, center mass, every time.
Well, Larry works in a little bit of that, like, military strategy and doctrine. Like, Hawk's barking the orders. He's like, go full auto on your first magazine.
Yes.
And then when you slap in your second, then it's aimed fire. So it's like that shock and awe to just inflict the maximum number of casualties. And then when people are, like, taking cover and less likely targets, then it's time for aimed fire. So, I mean, it's superior strategy will win the day, but they don't have to because they get a bolt from the blue. They think that they are toast when Destro shows up in this attack helicopter.
Yeah.
Destro winds up offloading missiles on Villavaca's invading troops.
Yes.
After taking their money, he's like, yeah, I'll take that as a down payment for services rendered. And then he kills the guys that he was supposed to protect and doesn't kill the guys he was supposed to kill. So, I mean, Destro is being absolutely duplicitous. I've never seen him this money grubbing, to be honest. This petty.
Right.
Like, he swipes the cash real fast and then turns traitor. Like, where's all this vaunted honor and like trustworthiness? This, like, I thought he was a man of his word, but not in this issue, brother.
Yeah, no, you're seeing him making deals, double crossing. I like the way that he's flying that helicopter himself, and I like the way he's got the headphones on and everything, and that Iron Grenadier sat next to him. How do you feel like he's drawn in his gold by... Who have we got on? It's Wagner, isn't it?
Ron Wagner.
Yeah.
Excellent art, my goodness. Once again, just like classic G.I. Joe art. This is a textbook case of how it should be done. I like the fact that the colorist has chosen to give us a little peek at Destro's chest. Have you noticed that he's insisting upon, like, beneath the metal, the gold metal mask is the kind of the cuff with the bolts, and beneath that you've still got a little bit of that 70s disco chest peeking out, and then it's the ruffle, whatever that is.
How cool does the Iron Grenadier look next to him?
Ron has gotten the details out.
Yeah, the mouth, all of that mouth kind of cover and everything is just so... It's very intimidating. Great fig. I absolutely love them. And
I'm glad that he picked out the details, because why? Because the figure, because it's all red,
they're
you kind
not
of
like...
lose that detail on the gas mask.
Destro really treats these guys with the utmost respect, I feel like. They're not like blue shirts to Cobra Commander, are they?
Yeah,
You know?
he
They
absolutely
feel...
doesn't have a right-hand man in this, other than his various Iron Grenadiers. So they're really
Yeah.
not personified as his immediate leadership.
Yeah, and two looks that have been designed together and just bounce off each other so well.
Yep. Couldn't have put it better myself, Ben.
Yeah. So let's keep flicking through here. So after they...
using what is a very conventional American attack helicopter, an observation helicopter.
Good
What
scene
you're seeing
setting
in this issue is the MH6 or Little Bird or AH6 is its attack designation. It's got a cute little dub as being the killer egg because of the fact that it's got this very bulbous crew section.
It feels light, small, quick. You can land that thing anywhere, in, out.
Not exactly as exotic as you'd expect Destro to be flying. Like
That's what I was going to say.
Very real world.
Yeah. Look at that villa behind them. Great scene setting in this whole issue, to be fair. Very atmospheric. Sierra Gordo, where are we meant to think that is?
Costa Rica?
That's what I was going to say, yeah. So it's...
But Costa Rica's a little bit more stable now.
Is it like Central America or South America? Yeah.
I would say Central. Just an analog for any kind of war-torn nation caught between Soviet Russia and the United States.
Yeah. The issue, it feels hot, it feels sweaty. I can hear the mozzies. I feel like they do a really good job of making you, scene setting and making you feel like you're there. A lot of players in this issue that aren't Joe or Cobra. A lot of civilians.
You haven't answered my question, though, Ben. What do you
what?
think of Destro using very conventional technology?
Oh, as in not turning up in some kind of,
anti-gravity pod.
I think it fits the issue marvelously, though.
Yeah? That this is like the export model. He's prepared to sell MH6s, which are actually American tech, to a South American or Central American nation. But he's not going to give them his best stuff. He's not going to give them demons and AGPs.
Yeah. I know what you mean. Now you've said that, you've planted the seed. Why is he not rocking up in... Yeah. I don't know. But it is a very real-world issue. The whole issue is like a lot of weighty dialogue. I was like, crikey, if you're a kid reading this... the scene, have you showed the panel when the Joes massacre that attacking force?
I have, but let's have it again.
That's some heavy stuff. Also, in the background there, nice APC doing the rounds as well. They brought in some armor. Do we actually see that get macked by Destro? No, not specifically.
It's in the back there. It's laying down heavy fire. But, we just see Destro annihilate everyone in a kind of a big whomp whomp body strewn everywhere.
Psych out on this mission. Strange choice, but...
I had to push the toy, I guess. This is a book of the year 1987, and so Psych-Out was kind of in that rotation. It's like, you gotta give this guy some time to shine. And I guess he does offer some psychological...
From a collector's point of view, is it the little antenna on his back that is the problem for everyone? That's...
I guess.
Is it detachable?
It's pretty snug. Yes, it is detachable. Therein lies the problem. It gets
Why would you ever want to detach it, though? For what reason?
No, you wouldn't.
Yeah. That's a strange choice.
Look, I've seen equal numbers with it on, equal numbers with it off, but once it's in there, it's pretty firm. You'd have to actually pull it out.
Of Psych-Out are we getting?
We've got with this classic mold.
Yeah.
Version 1, 1987. Version 2, which would be Night Force in 1989 or 90. I can never decide. No, it's probably 89.
Mm-hmm. And then Tiger Force.
No. It would have been 88. Yeah. The very next year they did him in Night Force colors. Then Tiger Force in 1991.
I have to say, I love his original look. I think it's cool.
He had hair color change every single time. Night Force,
I
he's a
love
brunette,
that. Yeah.
and then Tiger Force, he's got black hair. So he's messing with your mind, man. It's psychological warfare when it comes to going to the hair salon.
He looks a little bit Lobot there, I have to say.
Oh, he always looks Lobot with that headpiece.
Yeah, for sure. What's his actual role here? What's his second? Because his primary, what is he?
Well, look, I mean, he's fulfilling the function of like second in command to Hawk. He's the sort of the first lieutenant on the scene, so he's an officer, but a junior officer. But you do get him offering up some psychological profiling. They're charging at us over the open ground. They must be incredibly brave or incredibly stupid. I mean, the classic line. But he's
is a lovely close up. That is punching in.
Oh, baby blues.
Yeah. I mean, he strikes me as someone that doesn't necessarily love all of that killing, but he's got to do it.
Well, it's nice to see that he is absolutely wielding an M16 and
he's got it tucked in nice there.
And he's left-handed.
He's a lefty.
I suppose Ron Wagner depicted him left-handed because you want to present the gun towards the camera.
Totally. Yeah.
It's got a wood grain on the stock, which is unusual.
I know.
M16s would mainly have. I mean, that's looking like not the most early version of the M16, so the wood seems a bit anachronistic.
Yeah, and look at Roadblock back there, though. Woo!
Once again, in his Miami Vice wife.
He's not picking targets. Come on, he's just laying it down.
Anytime he cuts loose on his Mardouse, it's glorious.
Yeah. Well, that is the issue, my man.
There
really is not much more to say. I'm just flicking through the ads here. Don't just stand there. Fire back. I don't even know what that is, but it was not on my radar as a child, I can tell you that.
Oh, man. Courtesy of that print ad, it was on my radar. I wanted a Captain Power Jet XT7 so badly.
And did you get one?
I got one while I was in Korea. I got it mint in box.
God, this guy is traveling around. You got one in Korea. I was not expecting that, S-Jubs. I'm not going to lie.
It was designed like a light gun.
Yes,
so just like a Nintendo Zapper. And it would be interactive with a VHS cassette that you could buy. Or the TV show, Captain Power and Soldiers of the Future, would have sections that would be interactive with the XT7 and the baddie version. I think it's called the Phantom or something.
And sorry, did it get on your radar through reading Joe books? No.
It got on my radar. Well, the TV show was on air at the time.
Okay, right.
So I watched Captain Power as often as I could. I mean, I think it was at an awkward time in the afternoon. Sometimes school got in the way. But yes, anytime I watched that, I was like, this is so cool. And then when I found that print ad, I was like, this is amazing. Get a toy that will interact with my TV set. Now, flick forward to, when was it, 2014, when I finally got one. The VHS has been put on YouTube, but unless you have a CRT television...
Of course, the light... Yeah.
Yeah, you need the flicker. You need the actual, the tube.
My only foray into light guns would have been... I didn't have Duck Hunt, although I have it now. And I didn't have the scope on the SNES. Do you remember that? It was like a big scope thing. My first one I got was Virtual Cop on the Sega Saturn. From playing it in the arcades, I was like, this is amazing. And it worked so well at home. So good. Yeah, Virtual Cop. And even now, it's not a light gun, but I just love peripherals. We're playing a lot of Sega bass fishing. Big rod. There's just something about all of that stuff from back then.
Hand.
Yeah. It's just so fun. And my kids are fascinated by all of that stuff. They find it amazing. And it's probably something that doesn't really happen anymore. But yeah, there's something about holding something big and chunky that is, you're doing something in it, you're seeing that reflected on the TV. Amazing.
I think I need to get Duck Hunt out and give that
Duck
a play.
Hunt was, for the time, the fact that that was working blew my mind. I had friends that had it, and I was like, I'm shooting a gun at the TV. Amazing. I've actually got I've got a couple of the Duck Hunt. I just love the design of the blasters, so I buy them and then I unscrew it and take the lead out, and we just use it as a really cool blaster. It's a great design.
It's beautiful.
They're on eBay for like £10. I was like, these are so fun to run around and play with.
Do they still function?
100%.
Really?
Well, no, I mean, I don't have a NES, but I imagine they do. The only NES I have, 2 secs.
I wonder if Ben ever watched that. What was it, Captain Nintendo or something?
Dude, this is the only NES I have. I mean, I could try and plug this in.
He's got the Lego reproduction. That's a weighty piece of Lego, man.
Yeah, dude, it
Pieces
is.
of Lego.
All of the interiors and the eject, absolutely beautiful.
Wow. Yowza. That must weigh a ton. That is solidly built Lego reproduction of a NES.
Yeah. Keeps going. What's this? I got a Polaroid.
Ah, cool.
Yeah. And whilst you're here, speaking of Nintendo things, I love collecting old magazines. So awesome.
A vintage shop nearby that you can kind of thumb through just to tempt you every day?
Not so much. These are actually really expensive. These are, you gotta be looking on eBay to get things like that.
Damn it, man.
Damn it, man.
Everything can be had on the internet for a price. The true hunt is finding the bric-a-bracs. That
is the true hunt. And I went hunting the other day and I found nothing Joe related.
Keep it up, buddy.
You got to keep it up. It's a hunt. I mean, look, you have to get a certain amount of joy out of the hunt, don't you? Otherwise, what's the point? But
just scrolling your phone is absolutely joyless.
He's joyless.
Later, when it comes, when you get it in the mail, and you can forget the fact that it was this electronic purchase and hunt.
Yeah, that's just doom scrolling. I have to say, after we finish this show, maybe we should continue doing Chasing Joe, but every week I buy a fig. Now that is an expensive show. That's a really pricey show.
Okay, well, I'll bite. Who's in your crosshairs?
Well, okay, so it's completely linked to this show. I have to say that's something that I'm enjoying taping this show is whoever's in the particular issue that we're reading, I then tend to go and research, and that research involves I'll just go and if I don't own the fig, I'll have a look and see the price points. I mean, and the price points on C-listers like Crazy Legs just annoys me, just bugs me.
Yeah,
so ridiculous.
It's just that stock, my friend. And he'd look just as good with any other submachine gun. So guess what? Like, if you can overlook that, just get the base figure. The parachute pack might also be tricky to find.
Yeah, that parachute pack really reminds me of the Kenner Star Wars toy line. That's not a very GI Joe accessory at all.
I know, no back plug. It actually just wraps around the figure.
Yeah. Rub. Well, that makes sense. For what it is, a parachute, yeah. I mean, but that makes me think of the Kenner line. That doesn't make me. That makes me think of putting that on Luke.
Or your Pally toy. Like you didn't really catch the early sort of Action Force figures, but
I did. Matcham's Market. I did have a bunch.
Okay, well,
but I hated them.
Soft rubber that would then have to be folded over and plugged onto a post.
I hated them because they just represented my frustration of these aren't the Joes that I'm looking for. They're not the ones I want,
Let's hear it for Crazy Legs, though. The guy doesn't have that many moments to shine before he's killed off.
Yeah.
But this is probably his greatest hero moment. He rescues a child that's basically flown through the air.
Dude, he's sorting everything out back there. He's the one that,
Spinning
don't forget
plates,
that they've been hijacked as well.
Yeah. And he's
I
holding
think
it down, man.
I think he's a really cool fig. So I did quite a lot of research on him. I was like, no, I need him back. I was like, he's great. I don't know if it's because I'm watching Masters of the Air or I just like his look.
I had a crazy...
Look at that kid in the background.
Yeah.
Are they in the upper echelons of the atmosphere? There's weightlessness.
No, it's the sudden arresting motion of hitting trees. And the fact that, how's that for immediate foreshadowing on the previous page? And this is like an airline safety ad. Like, don't forget to buckle up your children.
And stow it away.
The kid needs to be on his own separate seat for takeoff and landing, not on your lap. Mm-hmm.
Look at that.
I mean, have you traveled
machine
with young children and had to have you got your lap belt on and then there's an additional belt that goes around the child?
Oh, dude, we've done it all. My goodness.
Yeah.
I mean, over the last 14 years, we've done every kind of air travel. Yeah. We never, ever let it stop us from doing all of the things and ticking all the things we wanted to do, though. You just got to get it done. It's not the best. It's not the best.
It is a mission. But to stay in the same place.
It is ancient history as soon as you land. Yeah. Now, what was I going to say? So I was just staring at the Thunder Machine there. The twin Gatling gun, those twin cannons. You can't move them. You can't do anything with them, but you point them in the direction you want, and it is death.
Yeah, something will go away.
And where are they being fed from, ammunition-wise? Now,
because of the unconventional structure of the Thunder Machine, I think the Trans Am...
Oh, you can see there, yeah.
I think that they've gutted that. There's no engine down there. So that's just entirely a big old drum for bullets.
Yeah. The Thunder Machine!
That's my explanation. But yeah, once again, Ron Wagner is keeping up the precedent set by Mr. Wiggum, and that's just making the bullet belts a big old loop. Awkward loop over the top of the Thunder Machine, which is daft.
Those
bullets to be feeding down below, not this kind of... What is it, a Mobius strip of infinite ammo? It just goes round and round and round and round.
Yeah, it's certainly infinite when you're playing with that thing. Have you got anything to say about Monkey Wrench? I know you're not a Dreadnought guy. For some reason, I have no idea why, I used to get Monkey Wrench and Torch confused. Don't know why, I just did. But
Torch wasn't released in the United Kingdom as far as I can tell.
No, but I just visually, just in Sunbow, just everything. But I feel like Monkey Wrench was one of my earlier figs. I just have memories of buying him, loving his gun with a... just to sort of
Trident.
Call it... Yeah, just like a garden fork. I was like, oh, he can toil the earth with this.
Would you pretend it could fire bullets through the central spine?
That's what I was going to say. I can't remember if you're just meant to think that thing is... I think I used to use it as a melee weapon. I mean, disgusting, but, he was a disgusting guy.
Sure. Yeah. Look, funny you should ask. Monkey Wrench, along with Lifeline and Iceberg, were my 3 very first Joes. I couldn't tell you which of the 3 came first. I just know that when I had all 3 of them, then I had a play pattern.
Right. Wow.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, had the soldier and had the baddie.
Yeah. So you're absolutely right. I never had Torch. He looked like a cool fig though. And he was an integral Dreadnought. He was always in Sunbow.
The unholy trinity.
Yeah, for sure.
So you needed Monkey Wrench to kind of stand in.
And did Thrasher come with... Obviously, he came with the Thunder Machine. He wasn't he wasn't a carded figure, was he? But always felt like he had a fantastic look. That sort of British punk. Yeah.
Some vehicle drivers really got exceptional designs.
Yeah, he's up there.
Drivers are Armadillo.
Yeah, exactly. Like Copperhead is another one. One of my absolutely favoritely designed figures. He's
Good.
a pack in with a vehicle, you know?
Stuck behind the wheel of the moccasin. Doesn't see
Is
much
it
use beyond that.
is it as neat as just saying that they got worse as they went on with that? Phoning it in? Or are there exceptions to that rule?
How far into GI Joe's run are we talking? Where's
That's
the
what I
cutoff?
mean. Yeah. Because as
Because
soon as you get to like Rolling Thunder, it's like, geez, okay.
I was
rough
about to
fig.
say, in that very same series, you had Ghost Rider, who has a detailed knee board. He's got a secondary with a red scarf. The face sculpt, a little bit nowhere, but like the colors are good. Black jacket, grey pants.
Wasn't that such a
a
when you get a vehicle and you got that figure with it, that was such a great moment of the unboxing. You're jazzed, you're jacked up because you've got a vehicle, and then it's like, oh my god, I've got this figure to like look at as well. So
bonus.
Joyous, yeah. And then
be one of the all-time greatest moments of being a Joe collector, like a mint in box vehicle, and then
was the file card? Was the file card just on the back of the box?
There was a shift. So sort of the Action
So I sort of
Force,
remember cutting them out.
Action Force sort of 88 and 89 waves had them attached to the box.
Yeah.
So like your Cobra Wolf, mine was definitely attached to the box. My Tomahawk. Now, these are the Action Force versions. So yeah, I could definitely say that the file cards were on the back of the box. But then by 90 and 91, you started getting trilingual cards inserted into the box. They were sort of fold out. They're all perforated. You had to tear off your language.
Unreal. Wow. My stack of file cards, S-Jubs, honestly, my little hands, I could barely hold them in one hand. Just an absolute wedge with like 2 lackey bands round each side. And this will break your heart, but it's sweet that they were at one phase. I obviously thought this is ridiculous, these file cards, it's too big. So I bought a scrapbook and I like got Pritt stick. Do you have Pritt stick? And I put them, maybe I got like 6 on a page, and I Pritt stick them all down. And I think I tried to do the Joes in some kind of hierarchy and some sort of order. There was a method to it. And I stuck them all in. But the pages they were so thin, they were so weighty. I did the whole book, and I was like, yeah, I don't actually like this. So what I did, I just took them all out and put them in a stack again. So my file cards were very sticky, I know, it's rough. And sometimes, obviously, they were just like on each other like that. They would tear some of the ones behind. I was like, I've made a massive error here with my...
And what have we learned, Benjamin?
Yeah, but that's nice, isn't it? I was trying to make this,
Charming.
file card folder of awesomeness. I had so many. Damn it, where have my Joe figs gone?
Stack. No rubber bands either. I just stacked them and kind of put them in the drawer stacked.
Yeah, stacked
ready to
up.
pick up and flip.
Yeah, flip. I used to do it always in bed at night with my stereo on my lap, just busting out God knows what, now music, and just go through those file cards and sort of pick out all the discrepancies. That one says that and this one says that. Oh, get really into the canon of the whole thing. And to be fair, I only really learned later that Harmer was writing those, When is he writing those in his week? That's what I want to know. He's writing A-Ra, and then what? All of a sudden Hasbro are like, dude, you got to do all these file cards. I mean, he must have just been... do you reckon it just came out? Just how much thought was going in? I think they're joyous, but I wonder from his point of view if he really enjoyed his time writing those file cards. Is there anything...
Wasn't he also an editor for other Marvel books? I
don't know.
Larry in the 80s and 90s was
busy.
Very busy on a diverse range of projects. GI Joe was kind of just his bread and butter, I guess.
But I would well, I don't know if this is true or not, but I bet he didn't have any help with ARA. Like, I doubt that there was a story group. You know, when, like, I don't know, J.K. Rowling, she's writing Harry Potter or Star Wars, they have story groups that look after all of the canon, and, you know, they're like...
Writer's room.
You know, you can't, oh, you said that because that goes back 2 years ago, somebody said that. He must have been tying himself in knots with this stuff, with all of these file cards and the depiction of how, you know, how he's writing them in ARA. It's all coming from his head. I mean, he is the George Lucas of GI Joe, isn't he? It is his.
I'd venture a guess that the knots came later, after he'd been away from the book for a decade and some change, to then come back into writing ARA. That's when we got into some sticky continuity issues. But the continuous run of 1982 to 1994, sure, there are a few times where like things were actively retconned, but for the most part, it all hangs together quite nicely. And Larry himself says that it's an ongoing retcon. If something I say now contradicts something from the past, well, guess what? This is the new reality. Like, get used to it, nerd.
Yeah. Because I read modern day comic books, what I'm noticing is, because I've started to buy a lot of trades of various things, everything is written in 5 or 6 issue arcs. Like, it's so clearly written like that, so the trade works almost like an episode of television. It builds, you get a mini payoff in that issue 6, and then usually you open up the next trade, and issue 7 feels, it's like, okay, we're starting again, we ramp up, and then issue 12, you get another kind of season finale. But I, you know, with something like the ARA run, issues 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, it doesn't work like that, does it? There's never a point where it works as neatly as issue 6, you get your payoff, issue 12, and so on, 18. And
era run of the classic Marvel era, yes. Era run of the now, something else.
No. Yay, that was nice. That was a little... what was that? That's Solo. That's Han Solo.
Good against remotes is one thing. Good against the living is something else. Oh, the coolest man in space.
And one of the greatest scenes, just a hangout scene in the Falcon, dude. Anyway.
The contrasting of philosophies.
But what I'm saying is,
versus the scoundrel.
From a writing point of view, from Harmer, that's just fantastic. Just to be just going as you're going and not being beholden to like, okay, I've got to do this arc, and then we got to go to another one. ARA is just wild. It's just 155 wild issues.
And we are making our way through them. We are chasing Joe week to week.
So just quickly,
rain or shine, holiday or no.
Before we wrap up on issue 70, does this issue mean anything to you? Do you have any nostalgia for it? Is it somewhat of a... Well, it's not a nothing burger, but, you know, what does it mean to you? Any memories?
Zero, Ben. Absolutely
Zero.
Came when I got the trade paperback sometime in my 20s.
Yeah.
It was on loan from my buddy Paul because I didn't have a full set back in the day.
And you still don't have it now?
Maybe doing Jesus Christ Superstar in 2011, something like that. I don't know.
Wow.
I kind of had a lot of time backstage.
Well, you better get on Whatnot and pick yourself up one of these for £3.
It's not a priority.
But it's gonna be. It's gonna be at some point, dude. If you're gonna get the 155.
I'm not actively hunting, Ben. This is the difference between you and I. I'm a target of opportunity kind of guy. If it's in my crosshairs, as in if I'm flipping through long boxes at a comic book store or some kind of toy market that happens to have comics on the side, I'll pick it up.
What you're saying is I'm suppressive fire, just full auto, and you're very much like, whoa, pick your targets.
It's more like if
look at all those helicopters behind you, dude. You look like a cartoon character where you've got like Tweety birds buzzing around your head.
The greatest helicopter of all.
Oh, just perched. That is lovely. Oh,
sort of a lazy Susan.
That's so cool. Wow.
You got to be able to admire your tomahawk from all angles.
Yeah,
Especially when you lie in bed. Hey, this chickenpox isolation has been good to me. I've spent an unadulterated amount of time in my childhood room. It's wonderful. There's a Defiant splayed out just behind my back. What a time to be alive.
Unreal. What are those helicopters though above you?
Okay, so that is the Longbow Apache. You would know it from Jungle Strike.
Mm-hmm.
That is a later version of the Conquest X-30, the Sound Attack one from the Spy Troops one from 2005 or 6. That is a Black Hawk.
Black Hawk down. We got a Black Hawk down.
That is an Su-27 Flanker from Power Team Elite. Quite a rare bird, I believe.
Dude, you were into your helos. I mean,
And
you
jets.
and jets. Yeah. They do
Yes,
look
as
nice.
featured in this issue, this is the AH-6 Little Bird attack and observation helicopter with its Hellfire missile tubes, 4 of them, 2 on each side.
That also reminds me of Black Hawk Down as well.
Oh yeah, was it the Delta guys, the snipers?
They have a whole fleet of those. They're all like jet black.
Now, this helicopter is by BBI, Blue Box Toys, and is modular. So this is its sort of offensive attack version with the missile pods. You can also put down these benches. They just kind of clip in, and you can have guys just basically like riding on a bench with their feet dangling in the air, in the heavens.
Yeah, I mean, in Black Hawk Down, those things land, no joke. They touch the deck for like 4 seconds, if that. And then snipers get off and they're gone.
I was watching a great documentary on how these were used in Vietnam.
Well, first of their kind in Vietnam, no?
Totally. Well, I think the early 60s with their very, very first deployment, they were still in use. There's just nothing that does the job better than them. So obviously you'd have the Huey Iroquois, like I think it's got an 11 troop capacity. They'd be bringing in the airborne infantrymen. Then below that, you'd have the gunships, the Cobra gunships, the AH-1s.
Yeah.
And then even closer to the ground, you'd have these guys in the AH-6 or MH-6, basically like at grass level.
Wow.
Looking for signs of passing, spoor. Like they were expert trackers and pilots. And they were right down there, just like seek and destroy missions, looking for any signs of enemy activity. So like these guys were the most insane pilots.
Yeah.
Down there, just viffing around past trees. And
I bet Destro would look good in there, dude.
Don't currently have my gold head Destro, but I do have... yeah, he's in Oz. Most of my Iron Grenadiers are in Oz. It's funny. They seem to be the B team for me. How dare I say that? But yeah, I do have one lonely Iron Grenadier at the controls.
Right,
very incongruous putting an Iron Grenadier in like an American military vehicle.
So many. I tell you, man, there's always toys in this house. Look at this guy, Ceremonial Starscream. Get on with the ceremony, and that's what we got to do right now. We got to get on because I've got to take my daughter to school. You've got to probably have some lunch.
My son's about to get back from school, so yeah, it's time to do the lunch thing.
Wow.
Thanks for tuning in, everybody. We'll be back next week, of course. What'll we read? Who knows? Surprise.
Who knows what we'll read? I've been BenFlyingRetro. You can find me on Instagram. You can listen to my podcast that I do with my wife, The People Who Play, which is available on Substack. And if you want more of S-Jubs, just stay right here and keep clicking. You'll find him.
Yes, sir. Goodbye,
Until
everybody.
next week. Laters. Why?